In 1976, California was loud, fast, and full of promise. But behind closed doors, danger often wore a familiar face. Patricia Otto was young. She was trusted, and she never imagined that the person who would end her life was someone she already knew. For decades, her name sat quietly in police files. No headlines, no justice, until 2020, when one decision cracked the truth wide open. This is the story of Patricia Otto and the man who killed her. Patricia Otto was 25 years old. She lived in Southern California, in a modest neighborhood where people knew each other's routines. She worked steadily, paid her bills, and kept her circle small. Friends described her as careful but kind, not reckless, not naive. She had recently started distancing herself from a man she once trusted, a decision that would cost her everything. That man was Richard Thompson. Richard wasn't a stranger. He wasn't a drifter. He was someone Patricia had allowed into her life. And that was his advantage. Richard Thompson was charming in public. Quiet confidence. The kind of man neighbors nodded at, but didn't really know. Privately, he was controlling. Possessive. He believed relationships were something you owned, not shared. When Patricia tried to pull away, Richard didn't hear rejection. He heard humiliation. And humiliation, to him, demanded punishment. In the summer of 1976, Patricia told friends she was uneasy. She felt watched, followed. No one imagined how serious it already was. On an August evening in 1976, Patricia Otto left her apartment. She told a friend she would be back later. She never returned. Her car was found abandoned the next morning. The doors were unlocked. Her purse was still inside. There were no signs of a struggle. No witnesses. No screams reported. It looked like she had stepped out willingly. Police initially believed she had run away. They were wrong. 3 days later, hikers discovered a body in a remote area outside the city. It was Patricia. She had been strangled. There were no defensive wounds. The medical examiner concluded something chilling. Patricia knew her killer. She hadn't fought because she didn't expect danger. Her death was ruled a homicide, but the trail went cold almost immediately. Richard Thompson was interviewed early. He denied seeing Patricia that night, said they hadn't spoken in weeks. There was no DNA testing advanced enough to help. No cameras, no digital trail. Investigators suspected him, but suspicion isn't proof. The case went quiet. Years turned into decades. Richard married, moved, lived freely. Patricia remained frozen in time, a name waiting for justice. In 2019, a cold case unit reopened Patricia's file. New technology allowed old evidence to speak. Fibers from Patricia's clothing were re-examined. Biological material once considered useless now mattered. And it pointed to one man, Richard Thompson. Detectives brought him in again, 43 years after Patricia died. This time, he didn't look confident. At first, Richard denied everything. But hours into the interrogation, his story began to shift. He admitted he met Patricia that night, said he just wanted to talk. When she rejected him again, he lost control. He wrapped his hands around her neck, held on longer than he meant to. By the time he stopped, she was gone. Richard Thompson confessed. In 2020, Richard Thompson was formally charged with Patricia Otto's murder. He pleaded guilty. At sentencing, Patricia's family finally heard the truth they had waited a lifetime for. No misteri, no doubt, just justice. Decades too late. Richard Thompson will die in prison. Patricia Otto didn't disappear. She was taken, and her killer didn't escape justice forever. He only borrowed time. Cold cases don't fade. They wait. And sometimes, they speak when no one expects them to. This was Patricia Otto's story, and it deserved to be told.